Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta again. I am your host, Keisha Lansman. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk about the brilliance of the female mind with author Barbara Anise. Thanks so much, Barbara, for coming on the show.
My pleasure, absolutely.
Well, tell me a little bit about this book. What made you write this book?
So I've written 5 books before, and this is book number 6. And what I really wanted to create is a breakthrough in how we think about the incredible strength women bring to the world, in the workplace in particular, and based in the research of the neuroscience of brain differences between men and women.
Now, okay, first of all, when I saw this, I was like, well, this is perfect for Women's History Month. But do you find that women are, individually, we underestimate ourselves?
Yes. I think we underestimate ourselves. I think most of us do not even know how we are wired differently. And I think historically, we've tried to kind of fit into more of a male paradigm to kind of make it, And what we really need is to understand these differences because they're powerful and they make an enormous difference.
Now, I'm glad that you said that, because so often, especially in the workplace, instead of highlighting our differences, we kind of try to push them down. We try
Yes.
to, not be as girly or not be as female or not have those tendencies, not to be emotional, those kind of things that perhaps we feel innate. We try to push them down to succeed. Are you saying that we don't necessarily have to do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's exhausting to try and, be inauthentic or not bring your whole self to work, right? I mean, I'll give you an example. Just last week, I was speaking to a 28-year-old engineer in Silicon Valley, and she said to me, I'm still living with my mother, and my mom's told me that I have changed. And I asked her, how so? And she said, well, you're just not yourself anymore. You're much more aggressive. You dress down, you're always wearing black pants and black shirt or whatever kind of thing. And she said, I was shocked. And I said, well, that's the culture that you live in, right? We try and fit in as women. And what this book really does is empower women to say, wow, not only am I different, but it's a good thing. And actually, it's an asset for the future of leadership and in the corporate or workplace around the entire world, is that we need these natural talents that women bring.
You know what else I found fascinating is that it seems like you were right on time. I don't know if you had a little crystal ball or something, but at a time when people are trying to erase diversity to some extent in the workplace, no, we don't have to look specifically for women. No, we don't have to look specifically for those particular qualities. You're saying that's what makes us fantastic, are those qualities that make us ladies.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because I wish I'd had a crystal ball, but the timing is perfect because it truly is about shifting from great minds think alike to great minds think unalike. And that diversity of thinking, whether it's race, ethnicity, culture, LGBTQ2, whichever it is, we really need to embrace these differences because I've seen it. I've been in the corporate world for 35 years and I've seen these major corporations create massive breakthroughs when they really unleash this difference thinking, right? So, and the fact that it's the underpinnings is neuroscience around brain differences, hardwiring, it's indisputable. You just cannot unsee it once you learn it.
How do you find that this is empowering for our young girls? Again, in a time when we don't want to suppress what they have that is different, that we don't want to hide it. How do we introduce this to our young girls so they don't have to fight as much once they get our age?
Probably the most important question, right, is the younger generation, because we've been brought up in this egalitarian world, and you can hear my accent, I'm Danish, right? So in Copenhagen, I was always told egalitarian means sameness, equal means sameness, right, versus differences, right? So it's so important for girls to really unleash themselves and say, wow, I was born this way, And when we look at brain scans, and we have these brain scans that we show, in keynotes or workshops, you can literally see, even in pregnancy, in the second and third trimester, you can see the female brain developing very differently than the male brain in the womb, right?
Wow.
So it's not just nurture. You can't just nurture it. It's nature, right? So it's incredibly validating and freeing for women. And what I really find fascinating is that men are reading this book. You know, we have men who are buying it from men from Germany, men from, you know, New Zealand or Australia. You know, it's so interesting to see that men, you know, and I'll give you an example. There's a guy who has a men's movement. His name is Kyle. And I was speaking to his movement, and he said, who wouldn't want to read this book? We've done such stupid things with women, even back in college, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So it would be really smart to learn more about how women are different and you know, the advantage of that, right? Which is a powerful thing.
It is, it is. Well, then I have to let you close out with a website. Where can we learn more?
Genderintelligence.com.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you, absolutely.
All right, guys, please take the opportunity to go to the website and learn more. And stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.